Ever since the establishment of Channels Television in 1992, world news gathering has evolved beyond the screens. This evolution is as a result of innovation, born of the need for the passage of information to every corner of the world. Again, from the 1st of December 2013 today, Channels Television can be located on the Windows App Store, designed to pass information faster.
For quicker access to news information, Channels Television is adapted to feature everyday smartphones and other mobile devices, establishing the station as one that understands and responds to the needs of its teeming viewers. And now, from today, the 1st of December 2013, Channels Television viewers in Western and Eastern Africa have the opportunity to stay abreast of developments in Nigeria via the Channels Television Windows apps. Take this Nokia Lumia phone, where the Channels app has been fitted. Click on Apps, click on the top free app icon, scroll to the Channels TV application, and begin to enjoy news updates. So, for the 7th-time winner of the Best Television Station of the Year, the Window Apps Edition is just another way of staying closer to provide better news at your fingertips. Orolu Ashonibare, reporting for Channels Television News.
Still on the Anambra governorship election, the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, is not taking the allegation from the APC of electoral malpractice lying down, as its national chairman, Victor Ome, is adamant that there has been no connivance with INEC to manipulate their polls. Addressing journalists in a press conference, Mr. Ome says it's the APC that should be blamed for any form of wrongdoing during the elections.
What APC is doing right now, refusal to accept defeat in a very clean election, is a very ominous sign for Nigeria. And Nigerians should watch APC very carefully. The allegation that APGA Kona wants INEC to rig this election is baseless and unfounded. That allegation is unfounded. APC was misled into believing Dr. Chris Ngige is a very popular person in Anambra State, that he will win the election for them. But that was a tragic error of judgment. They would have looked at the history of Dr. Chris Ngige in Anambra State. He hasn't won any election here. This is the third time APGA is beating Dr. Chris Ngige, silly in an election. It was just a sabotage in Idembe North, engineered by this very APC. And shamelessly, they are still disturbing Nigeria. Elections took place in 21 local government areas on 16th of November, out of which it was successful in 20 local government areas. There was no incidence of ballot box snatching or stuffing or manipulation of figures that usually characterize fraudulent elections. There were no arrests on the day of election. All the people arrested a day or 2 days before this election were all APC members. And nobody is addressing this. 183 of them were arraigned in the magistrate court in Owerri, and they've been admitted to bail in the sum of 50,000 naira each. The DPP of Osun State, from where they took off to come and rig the election here, applied to Imo State for a transfer of these miscreants to Osun State for trial, so that they will release all of them. So instead of saying we were caught in the act of rigging, they have continued to disturb the peace of Nigerians.
Away from Anambra State, but staying with politics, even though the president is yet to make any public pronouncement on his alleged ambition for the 2015 presidency, the Imo chapter of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, is already canvassing support for President Goodluck Jonathan ahead of 2015. At a rally held in Owerri, the Imo state capital, during the weekend, the PDP leaders maintain that the party is ready for the task ahead.
Egbo Igbo Central School in Owerri North local government area of Imo State, filled with this mammoth crowd of PDP members as well as party supporters, all dressed in colorful attire to convey support for the party, both at the federal and state level, ahead of the 2015 general election. For the party chairman, this process will go a long way in boosting the popularity of the PDP in both the state and the national level. Another leader of the party also explains why the PDP is the best option to Nigerians.
We started doing that. The leaders implored all PDP members in Owerri North to open their minds, to open their hands, to embrace each other. Make sure and support the party to make sure that we get back to the seat from 2015.
We are confident that when the president decides to seek re-election, that Igbo people will support him and will win the primaries because he has done a great job for Nigeria.
High point of the rally is the defection of several members of opposition parties in the state, from APGA, APC, Labour Party and UPP, who defected to the People's Democratic Party. Reacting swiftly to this development, the interim chairman of APC in Imo State, Mr. Marshall Okafo, said it is obvious that the popularity of the People's Democratic Party in the country, and especially in Imo State, has dwindled drastically.
It is only the people that will vote them out. We'll make sure before the end of 2014 we would have collapsed PDP completely with their political ideology. Honestly, without missing words, I'm not trying to sound ambiguous because I'm the party chairman, no. But I believe in future.
As the battle for supremacy continues ahead of the 2015 elections in the state, the people of Imo are waiting to see where the pendulum will finally swing.
To education now, the presidency has maintained its position on the current strike embarked upon by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Public Affairs, Dr. Donyo Okukwe, told journalists in Abuja today that 42 out of 61 chapters of ASU voted in favor of calling off the strike.
I just noticed that, there's crisis. For more indications, therefore, and other information available to government, it has become obvious that this is no longer an altruistic strike born out of good intentions and aimed at improving the welfare of students and staff of universities and improving the standard of our educational institutions nationwide. Given this dangerous and invidious tendency, no right-thinking government sworn to protect the welfare of its citizens will fold its arms and watch the situation deteriorate any further. History has shown that when governments worldwide are pushed to the wall, they take whatever lawful steps that are necessary to protect the interests of their people and the state over which they govern. This is why we want to make it abundantly very clear that there is absolutely nothing dictatorial, draconian or undemocratic, in the order by the federal government for striking workers to return to work or face dismissal.
As Nigeria joins the international community to mark this year's 16 days of activism against domestic violence, experts have called for the passage of laws that will protect the rights of victims of domestic violence. They also advise survivors of domestic violence to report such cases to appropriate authorities to serve as a deterrent to others. In this report, Channels Television takes a look at what domestic violence means and how to tackle the menace head-on.
1 year after her marriage, her dream of having a loving family was dashed. That is the story of 28-year-old Nuratu Usman. But with the support of family, friends and legal experts, it seems help is on the way.
The first year was very rosy. He liked me to dress very nice, wear skimpy things. Then after our first child, when I thought I went back to being slim and wearing all those clothes. He used to feel very offended that why should his friends compliment me. So it started with emotional. He wouldn't give me money because he said the money I'll use for my clothes, to do my hair, I should use it to buy food and take care of the baby. And then when he saw I was coping, he now became physical. So he would beat me, but he would beat me in places that would not show. He would never slap me on my face or on my hands, only on my body, on parts that people will never see.
She calls for the passage of the law against domestic violence.
If the federal government could make laws, and probably the National Assembly could make laws that will make wife battering a serious crime and a penalty that they will have jail sentences, then maybe some of us won't have to live like this.
To get a better understanding of what domestic violence is, we got the view of a legal expert. She advised victims to always speak out if this menace is to be checked.
Any form of abuse, like I said, that takes place in the house, whether it has to do with sexual violence, whether it has to be, either it's physical, whether it's emotional, or anything that takes place in a private sphere. There's so much silence about it. People just feel it's not something that should be discussed outside, and for that singular reason, we just see it, like I said, it keeps rising.
While domestic violence is described as an appalling human rights violation, it remains one of the invisible pandemics of our time. Statistics show that 1 in 3 Nigerian women and girls between the ages of 15 and 24 have been victims of domestic violence.
The 2008 Demographic and Health Survey data shows that 28% of all women in Nigeria experienced physical violence since they were 15 years old. And 15% of women experience some form of physical violence in the 12 months preceding the NDHS survey in 2008.
The 16 days of activism to mark the day to end domestic violence in Nigeria also featured the decoration of a network of men who would speak up against this human rights violation. Many Nigerians, however, believe that the first step to bring an end to the situation is the passage of laws that will protect victims.
All right, a round of applause for